I'd hoped that this review, which is my last as the Chief Executive of RBPlat, before I retire, would be a celebration of RBPlat's many achievements during the 11 years or so that I was part of the company. This was not to be. While there certainly is a lot to celebrate, there is also that silent feeling in me which pours cold water onto the celebration. Just before year-end, something happened that I could never in my wildest dreams have imagined taking place. Not only had Royal Bafokeng Holdings, RBH, sold out of its defensive role as a shareholder in the company that it had created, but it had sold out to and into one of RBPlat's competitors and abandoned shareholders who, by investing alongside RBH, had made an enormous contribution to the formation, growth, and maturity of RBPlat, which, as the record shows, has started delivering strong dividends to its patient shareholders. One would have thought that by creating this company and growing it, they were creating a long-term sustainable cash flow platform from which they would not divest, especially at harvest time. This transaction, that is the RBH transaction, should not detract from the fact that while the past 11 years at the helm of RBPlat may have had their challenges, they have been rewarding, very rewarding for that matter. We formed RBPlat together with RBH. When we listed on the JSE on the 8th of November 2010, our listing was so successful that it was oversubscribed 4 times, and RBH were there. They actually took RBPlat to the market. It was an historic event for the JSE as we were the first rural community-owned and operated company to list on the exchange, and we have remained the only listed South African rural community-owned company. It is also worth mentioning that we are one of the top 100 companies on the JSE by market cap. This at least should have made anyone who was part of its formation think deeply before divesting. The trust large institutional investors had in RBH meant that they were comfortable to invest in RBPlat because of RBH and with RBH. Their huge support alongside RBH made it possible for us to successfully construct Cellrift. We also acquired Maseve with the support of our institutional investors alongside RBH. Our institutional investors also made it possible for us to acquire 100% of the BRPM joint venture along RBH when we were able to persuade Anglo-American Platinum to divest from their remaining 33% shareholding in the joint venture. At this juncture, it's appropriate to wish Anglo a prosperous future for their foresight in creating this quality company, a company which is an epitome of unparalleled transformation in the mining industry and the South African economy at large. As I've mentioned, we have brought RBPlat to operational maturity, which lends itself to being part of a consolidation in the interest of economic sustainability in the region. As part of the job sustainability, particularly in the RBN region, and diversification from a single mine in one corner of one region to a geographically diverse company with diverse sources of cash flow in which RBN or RBH had a direct or would have a direct significant influence. That would happen in 2 ways. One, through a merger with Impala Platinum, which would increase their life of mine in their lease area and continue contributing to the sustainability of the economic activity in both the Bafokeng region and the wider Rustenburg region, which would increase the cash flow pool for all the shareholders, including RBH, and sustain jobs and create more jobs in the region by consolidating a quality asset with a declining but strong asset. This route would have made an important contribution to the consolidation of the PGM mining industry and still ensure that RBH retains that important and critical role at the boardroom table. The second option was to consolidate two quality, well-managed companies, Northam Platinum and RBPlat, consolidate their cash flows into a bigger cash flow pool, and increase cash flows to shareholders, including RBH. This option would also achieve geographic diversity and diversification of the basket of metals being mined. In this 1-2, RBA and RBH would not divest, but would establish a significant influence and be part of the strategic decision-making. It should be borne in mind, though, that many years ago, RBN acquired various pieces of land and mineral resources, including the land on which RBPlat's businesses are situated through sweat and blood. You do not give that kind of heritage up, even for the most tempting price. That should not be forgotten when dealing with those assets in whatever form. Each one of these transactions had its pros and cons, and therefore we preferred neither of the two over the other. To us, it depended on who of the two came up with a more credible and executable offer. However, it is fair to acknowledge that Implat's assets would have more and better operational synergies with RBPlat's assets than Northam's, and in a consolidation transaction. Any contrarian argument to that would be disingenuous. We were therefore taken by surprise when in the evening of the 8th of November 2021, just a few hours before the announcement, when the markets opened on the 9th of November, we were told that our major shareholder had decided to go it alone and divest from the company they had given birth to in the nation's name and buy shares in our competitor Northam, from whom it must be said they had received a strong financial offer. This was in contrast to what we would have expected, which is for RBH to remain invested in its creation, that is RBPlat, and convince all the parties to participate in a consolidating measure. We believe that RBH missed a golden opportunity to leverage its strong position to become a catalyst for consolidation. Given their character and DNA, a strong financial offer only is simply not enough. In our view, a strong financial return should be fairly balanced with a concrete and conspicuous social return. The reality now is that they have done the deal and nothing can change that. Sadly, RBH's approach resulted in a messy contest between two strangers in the lounge area of RBN, leaving RBN as spectators in their own house, which RBN can do nothing about, and which will take some time to resolve, if any. I should state this categorically that, despite all the noises about a competitive bid for our company, there's only one offer to the shareholders of RBPlat, and that offer is from Implat, which offer our independent board is recommending to the shareholders. Any other person who's contemplating some offer must put up or shut up. The shareholders of RBPlat deserve some respect and certainty.